Good morning, everyone. Dominic James, here's passage 11. Caesar captures the Gallic town of Noviodunum. The next day, postudier. Before hostes, the enemy could recover themselves, recuperant, before the enemy could recover themselves from their terror and their rout and their flight, he duxit, so this is Caesar, he led the exercitum, not them, he led the army into the territory of the Suessiones, into the territory of the Suessiones, who were neighbours of the Remi. Magno itinere confecto. Then we've got that next bit, magno itinere confecto, and having made, a forced march, a great march, having completed the great march, but having made a forced march, he contended, he made his way, he marched. Having made a forced march, he marched to the town of the Noviodunum. Id ex itinere oppugnare conatus. Having tried to attack it, having tried to attack this place, ex itinere, straight from his march, as it says in the notes, having tried to attack it straight from the march, quod, because he audiebat, he had heard, look for an indirect statement, because he had heard that it was empty of defenders, because he had heard it essayed to be empty of defenders. He non potuit expugnare, he was not able to take it on account of the width of the fossae, of the trench, and the height of the wall. Castris munitis, will then say, having, what do we want to say there? Having defended his camp, having set up, having fortified his camp, that's good. He, coepit, began to agere vineas, it gives you there. He began to bring up the protective sheds. He coepit, he began to agere vineas, to bring up the protective sheds, and to comparare, and to obtain quaeque, whatever usui, whatever would be useful ad oppugnandum, whatever would be useful for making an attack, for attacking, needed for assaulting, for attacking. Interim, meanwhile, omnis ex all the crowd, all the mass of the Suessiones, convenit, gathered from their flight the next night in the town. So meanwhile, all of the Suessiones from the flight gathered together in the town that next night. Celeriter vineis ad oppidum actis, having, after the sheds had been quickly built at the town, with the agere, with the, then do we want to say that the ramp had been set up, with the ramp, or agere jacto actually, sorry, it gives you there, when the rampart, it says there, had been constructed. So, after the sheds had been quickly built at the town, after the ramp had been constructed, and the towers constituis set up, we then need to go for our subject. Galli, the Gauls, per moti, having been moved by the magnitudine, by the size of the operum, of the works, of the siege works, the Gauls, having been upset. Do you remember we used to talk about that, how the Gauls were, or how the hostes, how the enemies of Rome were always moved, were always frightened, this word perimoti, they were always susceptible to their emotions, weren't they? Sorry, I digress. So the Gauls, having been moved by their by the size of the operations, by the size of the works, the siege works, which they had never seen nor heard of before, and by the speed, celeritate Romanorum, and by the speed of the Romans, they sent envoys to Caesar for surrender, literally to set up to request surrender. So they sent envoys for a treaty, for a surrender treaty, I suppose you could say. And with the remi petentibus, ablative absolute, arguing or seeking that they conservarentur, that they be saved, impetrant, they obtained it, as in they obtained their request. Very well done. I will see you all next lesson.